Alright, मेरा दोस्तों, welcome. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic. It's a topic that sounds simple, but trust me, it's a game changer. We are talking about masawat, or as you say in English, equality. Now, where did this whole idea come from? Let's travel back in time. Imagine it's 1776. A new country is born, America. They write a famous paper, the Declaration of Independence. In it, they say, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. What a powerful line. They were telling the world that no person is born better than another. Everyone starts at the same level. This was a revolutionary idea, a real dhamaka. But wait, the story doesn't end there. Let's cross the ocean to France. The year is 1789. The people of France are rising up in the French Revolution. They have a slogan that echoes through the streets. Liberty, equality, fraternity. Dekha, there it is again, that magic word, equality. The French were fighting for a society where your birth, your family, your wealth wouldn't decide your future. They wanted a system where everyone, from the poorest farmer to the richest noble, had the same rights and duties. It was a dream of a fair and just world, a dream that would inspire millions and change history forever. So you see, this idea of equality isn't new. It's a historic promise. Now, both America and France talked about equality, but their focus was a little different. The Americans were more focused on political equality. They wanted everyone to have a say in the government, to be free from the rule of a king far away. Their main goal was to give people political rights. The French, on the other hand, were very concerned with social equality. They wanted to tear down the old system of classes, the clergy, the nobility, and the common people. They aimed to erase the social barriers that kept people down. It's like two friends wanting to win a race. One focuses on having the same starting line, the other on removing all the hurdles on the track. So, from these two great historical moments, the modern idea of equality was born. It was a promise of a better world. A world where you are judged not by who your parents are, but by who you are. A world where everyone gets a fair chance to succeed. This concept became a fundamental pillar of modern democracy. It's the reason you have the right to vote. It's the reason you can go to any school you qualify for. It's a simple word, equality, but it holds the key to a just and prosperous society. So, are you ready to understand it better? Chalo, let's dive in. So, what is this masawat we keep talking about? Does it mean everyone should have the same height, the same amount of money, or the same car? Built would be impossible and frankly, a bit boring. Equality is not about making everyone identical. It's about fairness. It means that in the eyes of the law and society, we are all the same. It is the idea that no one should face discrimination. It doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman, rich or poor, from a big city or a small village. Your rights and opportunities should not be limited because of these things. It's about giving everyone a fair shot at life. The core idea of equality is about three things. First, it means equal rights for all citizens. This includes the right to vote, the right to speak freely, the right to practice your religion, and the right to a fair trial. These are basic rights that belong to everyone, and no one can take them away from you. Think of it as the basic rule book for a fair game. Everyone has to follow the same rules. No special treatment for anyone. This is the foundation upon which a just society is built, ensuring that power is not misused and that every individual is protected. Second, equality means the absence of discrimination. Society should not have special privileges for certain groups. In the past, many societies had rules that favored men over women or one race over another. Equality fights against this. It says that your gender, race, caste, or religion should not be a barrier to your progress. You should be able to get a job, buy a house, or get an education based on your abilities and hard work, not because of who you are. It's about removing all the unfair obstacles that society has put in people's way, creating a level playing field for all. And third, equality is about providing adequate opportunities for everyone to develop their potential. This is a very important point. Imagine two runners. One has brand new running shoes and a smooth track. The other has no shoes and a track full of stones. Is the race fair? Of course not. Equality means we must try to give everyone the tools they need to succeed. This could mean providing good schools in poor areas, giving scholarships to needy students, or creating special programs to help those who have been left behind. It's not just about giving everyone the same start, but also about helping them along the way. Just like a coin has two sides, the concept of equality also has two aspects, a negative one and a positive one. Don't worry, negative here doesn't mean it's bad. It's just a way of looking at it. The negative aspect of equality is about removing barriers. It's the thou shalt not part of the deal. It means the state should not discriminate among its citizens. It means getting rid of all the unfair laws, rules, and social customs that give special advantages to some people while holding others back. Think of it as clearing the ground before you build a house. You have to remove all the rocks and weeds first. For example, negative equality means abolishing titles of nobility, like kings and lords. It means ending laws that say women cannot own property or that certain castes cannot enter a temple. The main goal here is to create a level playing field by taking away unfair privileges. A famous thinker, Harold Lasky, said, "Equality means first of all the absence of special privilege." This is the essence of negative equality. It is a process of subtraction, of removing all the man-made inequalities that have been built up over centuries, ensuring that no one is legally or formally superior to anyone else. Now let's flip the coin and look at the positive side. Positive equality is about taking active steps to help people. It's not enough to just remove the barriers. We also have to give a helping hand to those who are weak or have been disadvantaged for a long time. This is the thou shalt part. It means the state has a duty to create conditions that allow everyone to have a fair chance. It's about giving people the resources and support they need to compete on an equal footing. It's about actively trying to make society more equal, not just waiting for it to happen. For instance, positive equality involves actions like affirmative action or reservations. This is when governments set aside a certain number of seats in universities or jobs for people from marginalized communities. Why? Because these communities have faced discrimination for generations and are now far behind. To bring them up to the same level, they need extra support. Another example is providing free education and healthcare to the poor. This is the government actively stepping in to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. It's about giving everyone a real practical opportunity to succeed, not just a theoretical one. It's about building the house after clearing the ground. When we talk about the great thinkers of equality, we often mention men. But there was a brilliant woman, a true pioneer, who fought for equality long before it became popular. Her name was Mary Wollstonecraft. She lived in the 18th century and is often called the mother of feminism. She saw the revolutions in America and France and asked a very important question. If all men are created equal, what about women? She argued that women were not naturally inferior to men. They only seemed so because they were denied education and opportunities. What a powerful and brave thing to say back then. Mary Wollstonecraft laid out 3 basic features of equality in her famous book, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman. First, she argued for fundamental equality. She believed that at the core, all human beings, men and women, are rational creatures. We all have the ability to think and reason. Therefore, we all deserve the same fundamental rights. She said that denying rights to women was not just unfair to women, it was a loss for all of humanity. Imagine how much society could progress if it used the talents of all its people, not just half of them. Second, she championed the idea of equality of opportunity. This is a concept we've already touched upon. Wollstonecraft argued that women should have the same opportunities as men, especially in education. She believed that education was the key to freedom and equality. If women were educated, they could become independent, contribute to society as doctors, writers, or scientists, and be better mothers and citizens. She envisioned a world where a person's gender did not limit their dreams or their potential. She wanted the doors of knowledge and profession to be open to everyone, regardless of whether they were male or female. Third, Wollstonecraft talked about what we can call equality of conditions. Though she didn't use that exact term, she understood that just giving legal rights was not enough. Society's attitudes and customs also had to change. She criticized the way society raised girls to be weak and emotional, focused only on their looks and finding a husband. She argued for a revolution in female manners, a change in how women were taught to see themselves and how society saw them. She wanted women to be strong, independent, and rational partners to men, not just their property. Her ideas were revolutionary, laying the groundwork for the long struggle for women's rights that continues to this day. Okay, team, let's get into the details. Equality isn't just one single thing. It has different dimensions, like a diamond has different facets. To really understand it, we need to look at its four main types: legal, political, social, and economic. Think of these as four pillars that hold up the entire building of a just society. If any one of them is weak, the whole structure can collapse. So it's very important to understand each one. Let's start with the first pillar, which is the foundation for all the others. Are you ready? Let's break it down one by one. First up is legal equality. This is the most basic type. It means equality before the law and equal protection of the law. It simply means that the law is the same for everyone. Whether you are the prime minister or a poor laborer, if you break a traffic light, the penalty should be the same. The law does not see your status, wealth, or power. It only sees your actions. The famous legal scholar A.V. Dicey was a big supporter of this idea, which he called the rule of law. This principle ensures that no one is above the law and that justice is blind, treating everyone equally. Next, we have political equality. This means everyone should have an equal voice in how the country is run. The most common example of this is the principle of one person, one vote. It doesn't matter if you are Bill Gates or a street vendor, your vote has the same value. Political equality also includes the right to stand for elections, the right to criticize the government, and the right to form political parties. The thinker Harold Lasky strongly believed that political equality is meaningless without economic equality. But the core idea is that every citizen gets to participate in the political process on an equal footing. Third, there is social equality. This is about ending discrimination in society itself. It means that no one should be treated as inferior or superior because of their caste, religion, race, or gender. It's about creating a society where everyone has equal status and respect. For example, in India, the constitution has abolished untouchability to promote social equality. Thinkers like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar fought tirelessly for social equality, arguing that political freedom is incomplete without social justice. This type of equality is often the hardest to achieve because it requires changing people's deep-seated prejudices and attitudes, which takes a very long time. Finally, we have economic equality. Now, this is the most controversial one. It does not mean everyone should have the same income or wealth. That's not practical. Instead, it means reducing the huge gap between the rich and the poor. It's about ensuring that everyone has access to basic necessities like food, shelter, and healthcare. It also means equal pay for equal work. Thinkers like Karl Marx and Lasky argued that without a significant level of economic equality, all other forms of equality are just a sham. How can a poor, hungry person truly enjoy their right to vote? Economic equality aims to create a society where wealth doesn't give a few people all the power. Now for the main event, the heavyweight championship bout of political theory. In one corner, we have liberty or azadi. In the other corner, we have equality or masawat. For centuries, people have been arguing, are these two ideas friends who support each other, or are they enemies locked in a battle to the death? It's a fascinating debate with some of the greatest minds on both sides. One group of thinkers believes that liberty and equality are opposites. They argue that if you want more equality, you have to sacrifice some liberty. Let's see what they have to say. Thinkers like Lord Acton famously said, "The passion for equality made vain the hope of freedom." He believed that trying to make everyone equal would require a powerful government to take from some and give to others. This, he argued, would crush individual freedom and initiative. The economists Friedrich Hayek and Milton Friedman agreed. They argued that the only equality that works with liberty is legal equality, equality before the law. Trying to achieve economic equality, they said, leads to a road to serfdom, where the state controls every aspect of your life, destroying your freedom to choose to work hard and to keep what you earn. But hold on, the fight isn't over. In the other corner, we have a group of thinkers who believe that liberty and equality are not enemies, but best friends. They argue that you can't have real liberty without equality. Like Rousseau, Green, and Lasky are the champions of this view. They say, what good is the freedom to vote if you are so poor that you have to sell your vote just to feed your family? What is the meaning of liberty for a person who is trapped by poverty, hunger, and lack of education? They are not truly free. They are prisoners of their circumstances. Harold Lasky put it beautifully. A society in which men are grossly unequal, in other words, is a society in which there is no real freedom for the mass of men. The political scientist A.F. Pollard also argued that the right to equality is the parent of the right to liberty. Their point is that a certain level of social and economic equality is necessary for the vast majority of people to actually enjoy their liberty. If power, whether political or economic, is concentrated in the hands of a few, the liberty of the many is always at risk. They believe that equality creates the conditions in which liberty can flourish for everyone, not just for a privileged few. So, who is right? The truth, as is often the case, probably lies somewhere in the middle. Absolute liberty, the freedom to do anything you want, and absolute equality, everyone being exactly the same, are indeed incompatible. But in a modern democratic state, the goal is to find a balance. We need liberty to innovate and grow, but we also need equality to ensure fairness, justice, and stability. The two must work together. Liberty without equality can become a privilege for the rich and powerful. Equality without liberty can become a tyranny of the state. The real challenge is to create a society that has both. All right, my future champions, we've learned a lot today. But the big question is, how do you take all this knowledge and turn it into top marks in your exam? Jeet ka plan kya hai? Don't worry, your host is here to give you some winning tips. First, when you revise this topic, don't just read the text. Make it visual. For the 4 types of equality, legal, political, social, and economic, create a simple flow chart or a mind map. In each box, write the main idea, a key example, and the name of an important thinker associated with it. This will help you remember the structure and the key points easily. Second, quotes are your secret weapon. Examiners love it when you use quotes from famous thinkers. It shows that you have studied the topic in depth. You don't need to memorize a whole book. Just pick a few powerful quotes. For example, for the link between liberty and equality, remember Lasky's quote. A society in which men are grossly unequal is a society in which there is no real freedom. For the opposite view, remember Lord Acton. The passion for equality made vain the hope of freedom. Write these quotes on sticky notes and put them where you can see them every day. Third, focus on the debates. Political science is all about arguments and different points of view. The relationship between liberty and equality is a classic debate. Make a simple table with 2 columns. In one column, list the thinkers who say they are friends. Rousseau, Lasky, Green. In the other, list those who say they are foes. Acton, Tocqueville, Hayek. Under each name, write their main argument in 1 sentence. This will help you write a balanced and intelligent answer, showing that you understand both sides of the story. This is how you move from a good answer to a great answer. Finally, keep your language simple and clear, just like we did today. You don't need to use complicated words to sound smart. A clear and well-structured argument is always more impressive. Start your answer with a clear introduction. Develop your points in separate paragraphs and end with a strong conclusion. Use the key terms like negative equality, positive equality, equality of opportunity, and rule of law. Follow these tips, work hard, and you will surely ace your exams. Go for it. You can do it. Best of luck.